All right, now we are getting into our landscaping section. So we want to make sure you are in the first floor view. And you can also double check your drawing to make sure you have everything that you need to. Should look something similar to this. We have a furnished kitchen. You don't need to have a kitchen table, but you have your washer and dryer. You have your stairs and ramp. You have your exterior dimensions for proof. This was not required in this particular drawing to be 1070, so these numbers are going to be a little bit larger than that. But yours should multiply to be 1070. We also have dimensions of the rooms, dimensions of the closets. I need proof that your closets are no shallower than 2 feet deep. So I have all 3 closets showing in here. There's another one here. And then bathroom layout is there. I also have proof that my hallway is set to 3 foot 6 inches. So this kind of gives you an idea of how your finished project should be, how you should be looking right about now. So now we're going to add some landscaping, and I want you to go down into this show crop region down here. It's this little crop with the light bulb. We want to show that. If it was already showing, then this square would have been there. So the light bulb should be lit up. So I'm going to zoom out. Right now I'm cropping very close to the house, and I want to move this far out so that when I put in landscaping, I'll be able to actually see where those items are going. So I'm going to pull this out like that. And now, as we talked about in class, I think we all kind of agreed that this edge of the house, this left edge, really is the best edge for my south side. So let me make an annotation for that. I'm going to go to annotate and text, and I'm going to just type in south. Now, if it doesn't show up, if it's too small, you can go down here and you can change your scale. Right now I have an 1/8 equals 1 foot. You could change that to an inch is 20 feet. But then what you notice is all your dimensions get really screwed up. So an 1/8 as a foot seems to work fairly well for my particular model. I don't need that word south to be very big. I just need to be able to see. It's just kind of a reminder for me that it's south, but I also need to see it from you for a grade so I know which way you've declared is your south face. I'm going to move this little tag over to the left just a little further so I have room for my landscaping. Now, when I think about this, I think, okay, well, the south, that's where I get a lot of sun. So I want to have some big deciduous trees over on this side so that it blocks a lot of the heat in the summer. But in the winter, those leaves fall. We're going to get a lot of light and extra warmth in on these windows. So let's start adding that. If I go to architecture and component, then load family, then I go down into here to planting. Now in planting, these are actually different groups. So I have deciduous trees, conifer trees, which are your evergreen type trees. And then they also have fall trees where the leaves are different colors, which are the same as deciduous, and shrubs. But we're going to stick with deciduous and conifer for now. So if I open up the deciduous and I choose open, it's actually going to say that it's already been preloaded because I did load these earlier. So if it says that, you can close that up, and then we can just go over here into your properties. So you have all of your different tree options over here. We can think about trees that are common in Colorado. Aspen are very common. Maple are common. Honey locusts are common. I really like the maple. I like the leaves that fall off in the fall. So I'm going to place a maple tree here. It looks like it's about 17 feet from the wall. We don't want to get too close because we could cause problems with the foundation. We're not really getting into the details on that, but I like those there. So I'm going to click modify so I don't change these. So now I have my my shade trees that are good for the summer when the leaves fall. It's great in the winter. I might slide that one up. I'm using the arrow key. Once you click it, you can move them very easily with arrow keys. Put them a little closer together. Now on the west side, I know that I'm going to have a lot of wind. So you're going to need to check that in the assignment, which side you're going to get wind. So I'm just going to say on my side, it's the west side. So I'm going to try to create a wind block on this side, but I want those trees to stay full even in the winter. So I'm going to go to component, load family, go back to planting again. And I want to put in some conifer trees. So if I select conifer trees, now I go over into my properties and I should have some conifer trees available. They should be right above the deciduous, and they are here. Colorado spruce are really popular trees. These grow to be gigantic. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm actually going to place this one a little bit further from the house, and I'm going to place this one kind of in the corner. I'm going to place another one here, sort of like in the corner of the lot. And then in between those, I'm going to put some smaller juniper trees. These are 7 foot. These stay a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter. And so sometimes you might see like a juniper wall of trees So there we go. I'm just going to kind of stick those in there, move them around a little bit with my arrow to sort of where I want them. So now I have this sort of evergreen barrier. So in the wintertime, it's kind of blocking the wind. Now, if you have wind that's coming from the southwest, you could kind of put them at an angle here. If you have wind coming from the north, you could put them on the north side. If you put them too close, then it could be blocking your view. So I don't really need that. I just need kind of a wind break here. I also know that, at least for me, that the sun in the late afternoon, as the sun is going into the west and southwest, then I get a lot of heat from here too. So I am going to add one more deciduous tree, maybe a cherry tree, something that's a little bit smaller. And there we go. So I got a little cherry tree there. Now, just so that we don't have sort of a weird landscaping scenario where I don't have any trees in the front side of my house or this other side of the house, I am going to add one more over there. I really like honey locust trees. So I'm going to put that in the front yard. I'm just going to place it somewhere around here. And there we go. Now, if you want to add shrubs and things like that, that's fine. But when I'm explaining my design, I can explain, why do I have these evergreens here? Why do I have these large trees here, as far as blocking sun and heat in the summer, blocking sun from the southwest, even here blocking some wind. So make sure that you're able to explain what your landscaping plan is. If you wanted to put some shrubs in the front as decorative stuff, you're welcome to do that as well. Now, if you look at this in the 3D view, if you look at it from the top down, you can't see any of them because these trees are actually sort of paper thin. So if I click this cube angle here, they're going to show up. But in realistic view, it's really, really slow. So you may want to change this to shaded just for now. And you can see kind of where they all are. Now, the only problem with this in 3D view is my grass is not actually showing, extending far enough out. So if I click on the edge of this and I edit the surface, then I can drag this edge. I can make my lawn a lot bigger. So when I look at this in 3D view, I can actually get a better idea of what this property might look like. And once you have set it to the size that you want, make sure you click the check, and then it is all in the correct place. So now, again, we are staying in our consistent colors so that we can view the corners, or sorry, the edge here. Let's go to the corners. You can kind of get an idea of where all of the trees and things are placed. Now, I'm going to have you share two images with me on this. So our first one is going to be on first floor. And it's important that you zoom in close enough, at least so I can see the word south. That looks pretty good. I can at least identify that this says south right here. So I want you to take a screenshot, and you're going to place this one in the document. This will represent the top view that you're going to do. And then I want to get a three-dimensional view. So we're going to go into 3D. And this one is where you get to do something really kind of fun, where we're going to do render. So we get a really cool 3D view. So I'm going to choose, you can choose whichever isometric view looks the best for you. Whichever one you like the best. You could actually even kind of change this angle a little bit, but I do want to see all of the landscaping. So I actually think this shows my landscaping the best. And so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on render. And you can leave it set to medium. Medium will go quite fast. If you want a better rendering, you're going to have to be willing to sit through it and go into high. But I'm going to leave mine as medium for right now and click render. And there we have our final image. Once you have that done, I want you to click Save to Project. And we can call that Render Medium, in case you want to do a high version of that. And then I'm going to click on Export. We'll click on My Computer, then go to your drive, and go to where you typically save these projects. And you may want to name this House Render, and I'm going to call it Medium again in case I want to do a high definition one later. So House Render Medium, click on Save. And then when you get back to your assignment itself, then you can paste your two screenshots. So you can do the screenshot of the first floor, and then we can just go into Insert the image from your drive. And the most recent one that was submitted was the house. And so if yours shows up over here, do that. If you need to navigate to it, that's fine also. But that's how you paste in the rendering. So you're going to have two images in there. You're going to have the top first floor layout view that shows me which side you're saying is south. And then you're going to show me this rendering view. Then you just need to answer these last couple questions and you can submit.